Hi, I'm Sean Reardon, Mayor of Newburyport, and welcome to the Yankee Homecoming edition of the Mayor's Corner. Now, I'm up here at the Greek Church today on Harris Street because the unofficial start to Yankee Homecoming is actually tomorrow, because on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, they're going to have their Greek Food Festival. And as you know, this is a huge hit in my family. This is a date we circle on the calendar every year, and it kind of kicks off Yankee Homecoming for me. So if you want to come down here, all right, it starts Friday, starts Friday at 11:30. So Friday and Saturday are their busiest days, and then like they have some things left over for Sunday, but Friday and Saturday are usually pretty crazy, and we usually go multiple times. So again, come down here, Harris Street, starting tomorrow, 11:30 a.m. It's just awesome. Great Greek food, great music, great drinks, and great desserts. So please get down here, and they do a great job here at the Greek Church. Happy Yankee Homecoming, everybody. I can't believe it's here. You know, this summer, it's been so funny, so different from last summer, right? Because last summer, our July was just filled up with so much rain. We've had such beautiful weather. The summer just seems to be flying by, though. But believe it or not, we're at Yankee Homecoming. So again, I talked about the Greek Food Festival, and I'll talk a little bit more about some of the events coming up in Yankee Homecoming. But I just wanted to check in on a couple of city things real quick. It's actually been pretty quiet city-wise for city business. The City Council has met, has kept their regular meeting schedule. Usually they drop a meeting in July, but they decided to drop a meeting in August this year. So they've had a meeting already, but it's been a weird month. It's been very quiet. But a couple of things that they did work on, the Plumber Springs Bridge, right? So we talked about that a little bit. We had an IMA, intermunicipal agreement with West Newbury that was in City Council. That was approved 11-0. And basically what we said is that, hey, that bridge is part of our infrastructure. We need to uphold it, upkeep it, and so this allows us, the approval of the IMA allows us to move forward with bid docs and getting that out to bid and really getting a better idea of the cost. Right now we're agreeing to a 50-50 split on the cost, which is just over $1 million for the city of Newburyport. But I think the City Council also put a cap on that, so I think it's going to be really important to keep the costs where they are. But we're looking forward to working with West Newbury on this, and again, that bridge has been out of service for a long time now. Like I said, my son and I go down there and fish every once in a while, but it'd be nice to get that open and fixed and safe, and so we're working on that. Tonight at City Hall for the Business and Finance Subcommittee. They're going to talk about the Mayor Andrew R. Curtis fund. So that's that new pocket of money, that charitable fund that's going to be giving money to the city every year. It really came out of the blue. It's Andrew R. Curtis's grandson, Wayne, who actually left this fund in his name. And it just became available to the city. So right now they're working on approving the paperwork to accept the fund into the city, and then we'll work on the structure on how we're gonna meet as a group each year. And we've got a couple different ideas about what that looks like, but we'll meet as a group each year, kind of vet the projects or things we'd like to do with that money. It could be anywhere from $250,000 to $300,000 a year. And then once we have that, we'll work with the trustees of the Curtis Fund. And then once we have a consensus around that of where that money's going to go, then we will submit it to the City Council every year, and they will have to vote to accept those funds. So that's happening tonight, but we're really excited about that. The trustees at the Curtis Fund has been so great to work with so far, and they're really open to a lot of things that we've already talked about, like the Department of Recreation and Youth Services on Low Street. They're very interested in that project as well. So I'll keep you posted on that. The new police marshal search is still going well. As you know, Marshal Murray is retiring. He's actually technically already retired. He's working with us still on an interim basis until we can name the next marshal. But from what I hear, I'm not involved in that process. I think I talked about this before, but we have like a 9-member committee that's working. Former Essex County Sheriff Frank Cousins and my HR Director Donna Drellick are leading that search. And they have a lot of great candidates. So that's really encouraging. So those candidates will get initially interviewed by that committee, and then we will have an assessment center. And I think we're going to send up to 5 candidates to that assessment center. And then once that assessment center is done, then the committee will send a certain number of candidates, anywhere from 1 to 3 to maybe all 5, to me for final interviews. So we're excited about that. And lastly, I did mention Newburyport Recreation and Youth Services a little bit. We're still moving along in that process. I will say we're still considering all options for this. I truly believe right now that, what we're working on 59 Low Street is a really good plan. And I think if we keep getting the private funds that we've been able to secure, I think I'm going to be able to come to you, the residents, and say, hey, look, I think this is a reasonable plan that doesn't impact our tax base too much, right? Again, affordability and cost around this project has been probably the biggest thing that people are talking about. So again, I think we've already talked about the need, we've talked about the program. This building's going to be used by Newburyporters of all ages. This isn't just a youth center, this is a recreation center, so all ages will be using this. But again, I'm not going to bring forward a plan that I think is too expensive. I'm going to try to stay within the city's means financially to do this, all right? So I think we're still heading on the right track. We're working through the construction document phase and we'll have better pricing. But apart from that process, we are still considering other options as well, because you have to, again, you can't go forward with just one plan. You've got to have plans A, B, C, and D. So that's what we're working on at City Hall. But we're excited to have that process keep moving forward. Yesterday was a pretty cool day in the city because I actually got to host our Mass Municipal Association, so Massachusetts Municipal Association, MMA, we have a mayor's group. So we meet every month, so it's the Mass Municipal Association mayor's meeting. And I actually got to host that meeting here in Newburyport. And I kind of set this up pretty much soon after I took office, because these meetings get set up so far in advance. But I knew I'd have a couple projects finishing up right around this time on the waterfront. So I was like, oh, wouldn't it be great to bring all those mayors here to Newburyport? So yesterday we had just around 20 mayors and some of their staff, and then some of the MMA staff here. So it was really a big group. And we had our meeting over at the firehouse because the whole theme of the meeting that day was arts and culture. And so we had the Mass Cultural Association here, and they had a number of speakers that spoke to us. So we did our meeting at the firehouse. It was great. Thank you to John Moynihan and the Firehouse Center for the Arts for all their help with the meeting. And then we walked over and we went over to the Custom House Maritime Museum, and thank you to James Russell, because then we had our lunch under the tent out back there. And again, it wasn't a sunny day yesterday, but it had cooled off. It was really a beautiful day on the water. So I just wanted to give a shout out to those two. We actually went for a little harbor cruise after that. So Captain's Lady, thank you to Chris and all his team for helping out as well. But it was just a really great day, and I loved bringing these mayors that I've got to know pretty well now over the last 2.5 years here to Newburyport, and just show off all the great things that we have going on here and talk about what's coming next here for our great city. So that was a lot of fun yesterday. And just before I get to Yankee Homecoming, I do want to say thank you, DPS, because this time last year, we were concerned about keeping up with, and again, we haven't had the rain, so again, that's helped by the mowing and the weeds. We weren't quite in the same place as we were last year. But I will say trash was a big issue last year that we were hearing at City Hall, especially around town. But I worked with DPS. We tweaked kind of our schedule of how we're upkeeping downtown. And I got to tell you, I walked through downtown multiple times a day. I walked through the waterfront and the boardwalk multiple times a day. And I am picking up very few pieces of trash. So I think we're doing a better job throwing trash away. But I also think the DPS is doing a great job keeping Newburyport nice and clean, and we are ready for Yankee Homecoming, so we are excited about that. So finally, Yankee Homecoming. This is the 66th edition of Yankee Homecoming, and for those of you that are new to the city, Yankee Homecoming happens every year, all right, since 1958. And where Yankee Homecoming came from, the famous poet Jack Frost came up with this idea. It was a time where cities and towns were going through a rough patch in 1958. And they were looking for a way to celebrate community, celebrate being neighbors and having civic pride. And they came up with this Yankee Homecoming Festival, and this was happening all across the state back in 1958. And Newburyport is the last community that is still doing it, which is just incredible. And there's so many things going on all week. So again, this is the unofficial start, Greek Food Fest. But Saturday, we've got the Brew Fest. It takes place down in Cashman Park. I believe it starts around like 5 or 6 o'clock. Really great brewers from all over the area. That's their biggest fundraiser for the week-long festival as well, so that's always a great one to go to. Sunday, you have Old Fashioned Sunday happening. You'll have opening ceremonies. Also, there'll be music down on the waterfront and around town every night this week, so coming up. So again, always great acts, and it's just such a beautiful winter. The weather looks like it's going to be great. Monday, they have the restaurant server race down on Liberty Street. That happens at 4 o'clock in the afternoon. Tuesday, beware, we have the 10-miler and the 5K. Thank you, Lions Club and Institution for Savings. That's always a great event. Wednesday, you have Kids Day in the Park at Atkinson. Thursday, we have the bed race on Federal Street. Maybe the best night of the whole week is Thursday because of the bed race, and then the music downtown afterwards. We have the fireworks on Saturday, and we have the parade on Sunday, which is one of my favorite things as well. So for a kid that grew up here and got to go through all of these Yankee homecomings, it's like so many things change in our city sometimes, but Yankee homecoming for me has been one of those constants. So it's just a lot of fun, and it's family fun for everybody all week long. And it's a 100% volunteer organization. So they do this every year, and they're just trying to put on a good show for the city of Newburyport and for the residents here. And it brings in people from all over. So get out there, enjoy Yankee homecoming, get down here to the Greek Food Fest that kicks it all off on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday this weekend. And I will see you next time after Yankee homecoming on the Mayor's Corner.